So in my last two videos, I did the unboxing and review of the Jordan Stay Loyal and the Jordan Stay Loyal 2 trainers. Today, I've got both of them in front of me and I'm going to do a comparison video so you guys can make a decision on which one you want to purchase. In the video I made for the Stay Loyal trainers, I mentioned that the Stay Loyal trainers were quite heavy when I put them in my hand. Now, when I've got both side by side, I can definitely tell that these are heavier. If we take a look at the bottom of the trainers now, you can see that the design on the Stay Loyal 1 and the Stay Loyal 2 are exactly the same. Nothing has changed, even the materials are the same. The only thing that's different on these two is the color combination, but like I said in my previous video, you can get a different color combination, so that's not something we can comment on now. But the design is exactly the same. You've got the logos on both, you've got the dents on both, and you've got the zigzag design on both. Now looking at both trainers side by side, there are some noticeable differences. You've got the shiny material on the front of the Stay Loyal here, whereas you don't have that on the Stay Loyal 2. They've actually moved it from the front onto the side. Now, I quite like the shiny material at the front, it looks quite good. Another thing to mention is that the laces on the Stay Loyal 1 are on the inner side, whereas on the Stay Loyal 2, they're now on the outer side. For me, I've mentioned in the previous video, I think the laces being on the inside look better, makes the shoe look a lot more smarter, whereas laces being on the outside, I'm not really a big fan of that. You've also got the Air Max bubble on both trainers, on both sides, which is consistent. Coming to the front of the trainer, on the Stay Loyal 1 you can see clearly the Jordan logo because it's sticking out in red on the black, whereas on here it's barely noticeable, and I didn't know that you had this on here until I purchased the trainer and had a look. There is a Jordan logo here, but it's quite hard to see because it's the same color as the back. Coming to the back of the trainers, they look exactly the same. The only difference is the different type of materials used in the different areas. Now in my video for the Stay Loyal, I mentioned that I didn't like this leather bit here because when you put your foot into the trainer and when you do it quite often, you're going to end up getting a crease here. Looks like this is improved on the Stay Loyal 2. You don't have the leather up here. It will avoid the creases across here, so that's a good thing. The tag design at the back, I quite like it on the Stay Loyal 1, the way it just starts from here and just curves over. On the Stay Loyal 2, it's just a normal tag, and I don't know why it needs to be so big. Coming to the top of the trainer, you guys can see clearly that this padding looks very comfortable. It's a lot thicker than it is on this side, and the design of both shoes is quite different in the way that this is like a sock design. What I mean by that is when you put your foot in here, it will really grip around the top here, whereas this is a bit of an open design. It won't do that. Only difference I can see with this being the sock design and this being an open design is that if your laces are tied and you don't want to untie them every time you put your foot in, it is going to prove a bit difficult compared to this design, whereas this will be quite tight around the foot, so it will take quite a bit of effort to put your foot in. But nevertheless, that's not something which will completely put you off the trainer because there are good things about it. With this sock design, it only proves slightly difficult to put your foot in the trainer if you don't untie your laces. Whereas with this one here, if your laces are always tied and you're a bit lazy and you just want to put your foot in, it's fine. I've had pairs before where they've been sock design and they've been normal design, and when you're running, these are better because you don't feel as though your trainer is going to fall off, whereas with these, sometimes it does feel as though your trainer is going to become loose. Might not be the case, but it does feel like that. In terms of the comfortability, I reviewed both these trainers in both the videos. I think the Stay Loyals were more comfortable, and the reason is because the Stay Loyal 1, they had good padding here, but when you put your foot in further, it's not so great, whereas on here, the padding was consistent. The inner sole on both these trainers are quite comfortable, but the Stay Loyal 2, I felt as though it was slightly more harder. Didn't mess about with the comfortability too much. Now the price for these two, you're looking about £100 for each pair, so they're similar in price. But in my opinion, I think the Stay Loyal 2s are slightly better. The reason is because they are more comfortable. That's what I felt. But the decision is for you guys to make. Which one do you think is better? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see a more detailed review of each trainer, please check my YouTube channel. You'll see on there I have the review for the Stay Loyal 1s and for the Stay Loyal 2 in more detail. This was just a comparison between the two. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in my next video.